Hi, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. So today, the specific film I'm reviewing is called Let Love Grow. This romance is now available online and video on demand. It's rated PG and is an hour and 27 minutes. My overall movie review mom grade is a B minus. And let me explain why. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also like if you like this one, or vice versa. If you like those, then you might like this one. All right, so in a nutshell, the story is about landscape architect Evie, who has met her match with a new client, the stubborn paleontologist Ryan with the perfect beard. But his daughters love Evie, and she soon finds herself the unwitting victim of Operation Grow a Girlfriend. It's pretty cute. The film was directed by Demi Castro and Damien Rome. Writing credits go to Meyerson Amy and Aaron LaRosa. So here's a list of things that I liked about the movie. First of all, if you love Hallmark romances, then this movie is right up your alley. Jennifer Bonner and Britton Webb are the couple in question, and they make a really good looking couple. I felt some chemistry there. The kiss that you're finally waiting for is pretty mild mannered. This isn't super passionate, but I've got some things I want to say about that here in just a minute, too. The two little girls are absolutely darling and played by Julia Grace Mansell and Isabella Godoy. Now, if you're a gardener, I think that you're going to enjoy all of the talk of plants and the beautiful gardens that we get to see in the film. I would have loved more, however, but you get to see a little bit. The story takes place in Costa del Mar, Florida. Now, it's supposed to be a fictional city, but there really is a Costa del Mar in Florida. So shout out to mood rings. The main lady has one, and then she gives one to one of the little girls. I used to have one when I was a little girl, and I thought it was fascinating. And I was like, what's happening to my mood? Of course, it's regulated by temperature, but it's a lot of good fun. There's lots of talk about how to manifest what you want. Our protagonist leading lady is a little bit into the woo woo stuff, where she's all speaking to the universe, speaking to the plants, trying to manifest things. And for the guy who's very traditional, she seems a little out there, but the girls really get a kick out of her and love that whimsical, free spirited nature that she has. The film is family friendly and super sugary sweet. Now, with that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done differently or better. For example, the movie is super cheesy, and Hallmark has that reputation. But if you like cheesy and clean and sweet, then I think you'll like this movie. For a romance, though, there's not a lot of sparks between the leading couple. Other than being good looking, Britton Webb's character didn't really offer any reason why Jennifer Bonner's character should so easily have fallen in love with him. I mean, he was always distant and even dismissive to her for the majority of the movie until all of a sudden he suddenly changed. And in the last 20 minutes of the movie, he's a nice guy. And, so of course she's in love with him. It's easy to see why he would fall in love with her because she's beautiful, but she's got a really fun, creative, sparkly personality. And he definitely needs that in his life. He's a widower, and he's not into dating or anything like that because we don't know how much time has passed, but we know his wife has died somewhat recently, and he's just not quite ready for that. And so he's just not even open to any of it in the beginning. It's funny to see all of the junk all over the guy's yard as if a tornado blew through, while all of his neighbors' yards are completely immaculate. We're supposed to believe that he has time to decorate the interior of his home beautifully, yet he hasn't taken the time to pick up some fallen branches from the front yard of his house. It's very contrived. A lot of the dialogue is very forced and wooden. Ryan's beautiful home has definitely not been decorated by a bachelor. Who knew a paleontologist could afford such a big, gorgeous house? Huh? Valentina Rodriguez's character is constantly touching her belly to remind us that she's pregnant. And interestingly enough, there is also another pregnant woman in the movie and at the end of the movie, and she's also touching her belly. Now, I don't know if they're really pregnant or they just think that that would play well in the movie. Hard to tell, but they're just constantly touching their belly. I don't think that I did that when I was pregnant. Other people wanted to touch my belly though, and they didn't really go in that direction. So I also laughed that there would be a paleontologist needed in Florida, like really close to where this guy's family lives, you know, the big, beautiful suburban home. Anyway, I don't know. Is there paleontology work going on in Florida that I don't know about? So none of the characters seem to be able to take a hint. They barge into conversations and situations without permission constantly. Now you could say, oh, well, they're confident. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. I think my approach would just be very different. And so I was just kind of like, back off, people, you know, give each other space. And anyway, it's a movie. So of course they have to do that. So it's also just not a very realistic movie. For example, Evie shows up to plant a key lime tree. Now, in Florida, they have so many different kinds of key limes, which is awesome. So I love that they took their hint from Florida and have her, you know, getting ready to plant a key lime tree in the backyard. But she shows up wearing a cute skirt and tons of jewelry, and her hair is perfectly coiffed. And I was like, that doesn't look like a girl who's going to get down and dirty, you know, dig a giant hole to plant this tree. And there were a lot of other scenes like that where she's supposedly working, but she looks super cute and perfect, you know. The actors are forced to act in exaggerated ways because the dialogue is so unrealistic. So that gets just a little bit frustrating. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. There is kissing, but not too much of it, really. Talk of a mother's death, but not too much of that either. And no profanity. Yay, big thumbs up. So as I mentioned, the movie is family friendly and safe for all ages. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are confidence, passion for plants, growing a friend, family first, choosing your own path. So whenever I watch movies, I always like to write down interesting lines just so that you can get a taste for the film. You can see them all at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. First of all, these are all kind of more interesting lines, not necessarily funny lines, which I usually write those too, but I didn't find any lines that I thought were hilarious enough to share. But, you know, an interesting line early on in the movie, Evie, again, who's played beautifully by Jennifer Bonner, says, perfection takes time, which is true. Definitely in the plant world, I've got some zucchinis out there that are in my backyard and the plant's growing big, but no zucchinis. And you just have to be patient. Another line is when Evie's best friend and business partner, who's played by Valentina Rodriguez, offers a suggestion for something that Evie should do. And she says, Evie, it's not every day someone hands you your dream, because she has an opportunity. Actually, she's got a couple of opportunities and she's torn on which one to take. And then I love another line where Jennifer Bonner, her character, says, my motto is dessert anytime you need it, which is unfortunately my motto too, which explains the recent weight gain. I've needed dessert a lot lately. And then I like this line where she says, to understand the needs of a garden, you need to taste, smell, feel, and hear the land. And that's really her personality. She just really gets into all of that. And it's very sweet. And then I'll finish up with this line, even though there are some more. But Evie says, gardening has a way of bringing families together, which is absolutely true for homegrown families, but also for creating new families. which is the case in this movie. No big spoiler alert. You could have seen that one coming. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for 3 movies that instantly came to my mind as I was watching this one. The first one is a romance called A Little Chaos, and it takes place in France. And this is based on a true story, actually, where there are these massive gardens. Well, before there were massive gardens, there was a ton of land out by Versailles. Have you ever been to Versailles? I have, to explore the inside of the palace, but we ran out of time and I didn't have time to go see all the gardens. And so the movie is about a woman who actually creates these gardens, elaborate gardens that are out on the property at Versailles in Paris. Anyway, fantastic acting, some romance, beautiful gardens, very creative. Another movie I'm recommending is called Green Fingers. It's also a little bit of a romance and gardening, of course, because I'm trying to tie all these themes together. Another one is called The Garden of Words. And I don't know, I think that movie might have flown under the radar of a lot of people. So check that one out as well. All right, thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I hope that you enjoy this movie. If you watch it, comment down below. Let me know what you thought if you do watch it. And thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Be sure and give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe and, all of that kind of stuff. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.